And then it said, and this is the clincher, verse 19, and this is the whole reason that God included it in this series of questions. It says, it is the chief or the first in the ways of God, and only he who made him can draw his sword near to him. Which means, Job, I'm the only one that can control this animal. You can't. So why don't you trust me? Point is, God used a behemoth, a great long neck, as an illustration of his power and glory, so that Job would understand that he was the creator and he could only trust him and no one else. 7 generations after the flood, this animal was walking there across the valley, and Job could see it, which means that it had to be in the ark. So we have animals like this after the flood. Is there any evidence in the Bible that dinosaurs lived after the flood? There is. In the book of Job, chapter 40 and verse 15. Now, in the book of Job, you know the story. Let me rehearse it quickly. The beginning of Job, the devil comes in when the sons of God present themselves, and God says, well, Satan, have you considered my servant Job? There's none like him in all the earth. He fears God and eschews evil. And so the devil said, well, he doesn't serve you for naught. And God said, okay, go down and tempt him and see how he does. Just don't take his life. And so the devil came down and tempted Job and took away his kids and took away all of his stuff. And now he's poor and he doesn't have any family. And Job did not sin nor curse God idly. And the devil comes back into the presence of the Lord, and the Lord says, what do you think about my servant? And the devil says, well, Lord, Job doesn't serve you for naught. You got a hedge around him. And God says, okay, devil, I'll take the hedge down. Just don't take his life. And so the devil comes down and strikes him with boils, and he's sitting in an ash heap, scraping these boils with a piece of broken pottery. And his wife comes out and says, why don't you curse God and die? And then 3 encouragers come. Now, if those guys were encouragers, don't send me any. I mean, you point their little bony finger in his face and say, if you hadn't done this and this and this, this and this and this wouldn't have happened to you. Well, eventually God comes on the scene, gets tired of all this stuff. And from chapter 38 to chapter 42, God asks Job 77 distinct rhetorical questions. And he starts out by saying, where were you when I laid the foundation of the earth? Can you keep people from sinning? Can you cause the moon to shine? And he keeps asking these questions, and the only answer Job can give is, no, God, I wasn't there when you laid the foundation of the earth. And no, God, I can't cause the moon to shine. You can. And no, God, I can't keep people from sinning. You're the only one who can. And then in this series of questions, we break over into chapter 40, and God says in the same frame of reference, Job, have you considered Behemoth? Behemoth is the plural form of the singular Behemoth. So obviously, right out across the valley, there was going a whole herd of behemoths. Now notice that what God said. Verse 15, Job, I made him along with you. Point 1. Whatever behemoth is, it was made along with Job.